I'm excited to show you this haircut. This has been a bread and butter thing for me for quite some time. It's a ponytail haircut. I want to talk about fast behind the chair. I'm here with my gorgeous model, Laura. I just love her face shape, and everything about her look talks to me to have a really beautiful long shag. So if you really want to know ways behind the chair that you can get there faster, because long hair takes a long time. So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you about how to put a ponytail right in the crown of the hair, one cut, and then connect everything with an exterior angle. That's going to give me a lot of mesh in the crown. Then it's going to give me a lot of long layers around. Then after, I'll stand her up and just lightly clean her basic outline, also with the framing of the face. Just with those few steps, I can go through this haircut without having to go through the traditional method in which we normally cut exterior layers. Ponytail. So as you can see, look down, Laura, I have taken a circle all the way through to the crown, and I have captured this hair in which I'm going to cut. Obviously, if this hair was longer, I might cut higher in my layering. If this hair was a bob, I might cut shorter in my layering. So I'm going to get my ponytail prepared. I'm going to pull it straight up like so. I'm going to get really good tension. And then I'm going to allow my assistant to just hold the ponytail for one moment here. Come down just a bit. Right about there is, I think, where I want to cut. And with one cut of the scissor, I have now layered the entire top of the haircut. Now these layers will identify exactly how I do my star pattern with my exterior layering throughout the rest of the haircut. Okay, so now by just doing sort of a star pattern section on the top of the head, I'm going to take the guide in which I just cut, and I'm going to bring it in, and just by doing some diagonal sections, I'm going to cut exterior. But what I do is I utilize the guide I've created there, and I cut from the outside in like so. So I roll the hand over so that I cut from the outside in. Next section. There's the angle in which I cut previously. I comb up exterior. I roll and peel the hair over, and I lightly connect like so. And of course, I want this to just be a little bit, not the perfect line. I want it just to, she has texture in her hair. So the whole goal for me is to let the hair have the texture and let the texture explode. So again, I comb up like so. I fold over like so, and I just lightly blend. Not a technical haircut in the sense that you want the section to be so perfect. What you're wanting is a movement, a feeling of hair. So I just blend like so. Now as I continue around in the crown, I'm going to continue exactly what I've done. And I'm just taking pie sections around and blending the mesh in the crown. Peel over and cut up like so. Next section. Again, making sure that you prepare the hair very well, using the comb, locking the comb, peel it like an onion, like that, and come around and connect. So you take your time a bit, just making sure that your hand position is good and that you're really working that exterior angle in. So almost like a sun or a ray. I've just pivoted around the head lightly to create this. Again, peeling over and up. I blend the hair, getting the face more towards me. And the last and final section after this, as you can see, I'm coming in lightly at a diagonal. And as I get all the way facing this way, I'm going to chin up. I'm going to come in a little bit more at a diagonal. I'm going to step my body back slightly like so, and peel and lightly connect. Now to address the sides. So I just, again, come out, bringing the whole front in, making sure I capture all of the hair, making sure my level is straight out. And you can see that all I'm doing is just lightly connecting there where I had peeled the hair over, just to make sure that I'm blended to the bottom, out. And you'll find sometimes when you hold it up, you'll get some little corners like that. Not to fret, not to worry. I'm cutting this hair several inches away from my finger, so it's not a section that is going to be held in my hand like so and cut. It's simply a section that is floating out like so and like that. So I'm not cutting down into my finger, I'm cutting away from the hair. So I'm just working through to the back. And this hair was very compromised. One of the reasons I chose this haircut for her was the hair had been compromised. I'm going to do a nice, beautiful brown with some balayage painting to get rid of some of the red and some of the hair that has been compromised. So this is a really great way to keep length and still have lots and lots and lots of layers, and to get away from all the hair that needs to go away. Again, straight out, straight in, and connect. Keep coming around. I love a big shear and a graphite comb because that really helps me control hair, work in big sections and be able to get it fast and efficiently. I use an 8-inch graphite comb for that reason, so that I can get the hair all together at once. And you notice I never transfer my comb to the other hand. I always hold my comb here, and as I'm combing, I just bring the hand out, and the comb goes up, and the scissor goes in. So I never change the positioning of my shear and or my comb. So the last and final section, I'm going to come here, straight out, rocking that comb. There is where I've got to connect. You can see the outside, you can see the inside. You can see the comb and the scissor going in together. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is cut the basic outline. Now to cut the basic outline. Put the chin down. I'm going to just pull this hair down, and right on top of my finger, I'm going to cut and saw with my scissor a nice straight line. Continuing around, I just pull it down and I connect like so. Continuing, pull down, connect like so. And the final piece on the right side, I just am going to hold that in my finger so that I can make sure it doesn't fly away, and connect. And the final piece on the left side, I'm going to do the same, like so. Then I'm going to take the part down the middle. I'm going to turn her all the way around towards me, and I'm going to frame the face. So I'm going to turn the head away. I'm going to connect the basic outline in the back, and I'm going to pull this straight down, connecting. And then as I come up around the face, I'm going to go ahead and start with my framing. I know that I want to open this up a bit, so I always use the earlobe as a wonderful tool for me to know exactly where to start my framing. And then I'm going to build that framing up as I go. So every time I look at framing, I always look at the V on the face. So here, all I'm doing, even though I'm not cutting way up here, what I'm doing is I'm basically using the line of that to frame so that I have a perfect pitch right there to right there, takes the corner off, and there's that side. Now I turn to this side, and now I'm going to, again, just connect the basic outline at the back. Coming around. Remembering that the earlobe is the guide that I used on the other side to begin my framing. So now I know that earlobe, guide, down. And now I'm going to cut more on top of my finger this way, keeping that hair straight down. I'm going to use the V on the face to lightly mimic exactly what I'm cutting there. So by using that earlobe, now I begin to frame from the bottom up, mimicking the V that's on the face, mimicking the line and the pitch of that hair there. I can even use my comb as a resource to be my ruler to keep me nice and straight. And then my final little section here, I'm just going to clean. So now, checking for evenness. Now I have a beautiful shag haircut. So I have lots of length here, really shorter and more out in the crown, a little bit more of an exterior layer. Stay tuned and I'm going to show you exactly how Laura turns out. So now you can see how this beautiful ponytail created an amazing layering technique. Very simple, very clean. She's got lots of volume in the crown, gives it a little bit of a shag appeal. Now I can come in and I can have fun to play with the layers of my haircut. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually twist the hair lightly. And because I know I want the hair to be more broken, I'm going to just twist through using a finer tooth blade, and I'm just going to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, and just go through to create an exterior angle. By doing that, it just makes the hair wake up and do something different than getting on the surface. So twisting like so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Depends on how many you need, doesn't matter. It's just kind of up to you, to how you feel. But you're going to be very calculated as you do that, simply because you know that if you're feeling a lot of texture in your hand, that you can take your razor shear and add a lot of texture to it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And you notice I'm starting at the place where that shortest layer is. So I continue. Now that's the middle. So when I get to the middle on this side, I'm going to twist in the opposite direction. I'm going to twist back around like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then continue around as I twist backwards in a counterclockwise direction, before I twist it in a clockwise direction. And you notice I don't take out all the hair yet. I feel that if you're gonna do this, it's best to just let it sit for a minute and take all the hair out at one time. Don't get yourself messed up by shaking the hair out. So I'm just coming right in, right through, again turning, and then you can see I love the layering that this is going to do. Laura's hair is curly, so this is going to really help. By twisting hair, you're mimicking how curl falls. So making it like a curl is what makes the hair mimic that. So you can see how I got a little more aggressive around the face, because this is the piece around the face that I'm twirling, curling, and removing. And I come right in through that. So then I can take all those sections and just with my fingers, I can lightly remove, pulling that hair down and out. And you can see what that does to just keep those layers really nice and together, all together. But as I lift the layers, look what happens to the explosion of the haircut. So once I lift through the hair, once I continue to get all those big pieces of hair that I just did out, look what begins to happen to that texture. And as I lift it, it's going to really give me some amazing texture in the hair. Again, working with the curl and creating something a little more shaggy, a little more open, and a little more airy. So the front piece here, I can even do a little bit more. So I'm going to come in here, pick it up one more time, twirl it back, knowing that that's what's going to open my haircut up there, and removing that hair. It's just going to get more air into that hair. So now you can see more of that finished product. You can see how those layers kick in and give me this wonderful, smaller bottom. Really love what that does to the hair, creating that mesh angle. This way gives it a little bit of a younger vibe, and I do like what's happening there. Now I'm going to go in, put a little brown back in her hair, and paint some of those pieces to make that haircut come alive and make my layers more purposeful.